Hello, welcome to Into Darkness Northwest. My name is Randy Jackson.
And my name is Misty Mitchell.
We're here to discuss the case of Ronie Parrot. Ronie Parrot was someone who was last seen at a Maverick gas station on August 25th, 2015. Where was that Maverick station at?
The 27th and Main in Boise, Idaho.
And when was she next seen?
February 13, 2016, they found her body in the Boise foothills by Holes Gulch.
And so we're going to be kind of exploring this case, try and find out what happened to her, and see if we can figure out, maybe get some people talking about what happened. She was murdered. It was a homicide. It's an unsolved case. And so hopefully through this video series that we're going to be doing, we can get some people talking and hopefully get some information going. And we'll be interviewing some different people as we go and sharing them with you guys. And who are interviewing first?
So we are going to be talking with her daughter, Tila. So we'll get to hear kind of her perspective and get to know who Ronnie was from her daughter. And I think that's important to remember, that she does have a daughter. And February 13th will be 5 years. So let's hopefully get some answers for her.
Awesome. So if you will just stay tuned, we'll be hearing from Teela. And if you haven't yet already, please like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get updated. We'll be posting new videos on Saturdays, and we look forward to see what we can find out. All right, let's see what Teela has to say.
Yes, thank you.
Just, if you could, just tell us a little bit about your mom. You know, like, what was she like? What was some hobbies she had? I see that she had a love of music. Just tell us a little bit about her.
My mom was a very social person. Her passion revolved around music and local bands. She was a huge sponsor of them. There for a short period of time, she worked knitting factory as security and got to meet a lot of the local bands, became very good friends with them. When she passed, we did a fundraiser. One of the local bands actually put it all together and set it up in her honor. And it was such a huge turnout to see everybody that she had known and the lives that she had touched. And it was awesome to see, you know, because you don't think of those things. And then when it comes out of the woodwork, and I have people still to this day, hey, is Ronnie your mom and all this? I'm like, yeah, like, how do you know her? And they're like, oh, well, she did this for me way back in the day and all this. So it was good to know that she was really loved.
Did she have any other hobbies besides music?
She enjoyed fishing, family. She spent a lot of time outdoors.
So she really liked a lot of the outdoors stuff. That's
yeah.
So she was pretty outgoing, really enjoyed being around. Would you say she was an extrovert then?
Yes.
So what are some things as her daughter that you want people to know about her? Anything else?
I guess that she really cared about people. Like, she's got a lot of people that she was really good friends with that I've got to know over the years and have become good friends with. And her memories and the support that she's had for people has been huge. Like, I don't know of anybody that she hasn't helped in some way. And it's a big thing.
So I think one of the reports said something about she let people stay with her, or is that? So?
Yeah, she was known to do that. If somebody was down and didn't have a place or just passing through, you know, she was always opening her doors to them, making sure that they were fed, and, you know, if they needed a shower or whatever, you know, she made sure that those needs were met. That's just who she was.
Okay.
That's good to know. What's your favorite memory of your mom?
It would have been right before I had Lily. I had just moved back from Virginia, and I'm sitting on her couch in her little apartment that she had, and we were talking, and she just kept saying, "Are you gonna have that baby head? I want to hold my granddaughter." And, you know, I kept bugging her because I felt like something was gonna happen, like I needed to have the baby. And sure enough, a couple days later, I had her. and we're back sitting around her little tiny couch, and she's holding Lily and just smiling from ear to ear, and she loved the kids.
Mhm.
Both of my kids, they were her babies.
Mm-hmm. How many children do you have? I'm sorry.
I have 2.
You have 2. Okay.
Yeah, I'm grateful that she got to meet her grandkids before she passed.
Right. Were you close with your mom?
Not in my childhood, but as I got older, I got closer to her.
You have a sister.
I have a couple of them, yes.
You have a couple of sisters? Okay. And one of them still lives in Virginia, is that correct?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
I think we're scheduled a Zoom meeting with her tomorrow night. Maya, right?
Yes, Maya.
So do you know who her friends were at the time? Like some of her closer friends?
Nicole is one of her really good friends. Nicole and Kyra.
Okay.
Bernadette.
That will. So what about? 'Cause I heard that she had. From what little bit we've read, and it seems like she had a boyfriend at the time.
So David is an on and off boyfriend that she had for ever. I want to say probably 18 years.
Okay.
Maybe a little longer than that. When she was younger, I would say late 20s, early 30s, maybe even younger than that, her and David started going together, and they were using meth really bad and all that. And then when she got sober and clean, they kind of had a falling out and everything. And then she went back to using when she got back around him, and they had a bunch of really bad fights. And the last one that I knew about, she was screaming at him, and it was a fiasco, that one. And that was not too long after I quit hearing from her too.
Okay. So and I hope this is okay to ask, was she using at the time that she disappeared?
I don't know, so I can't answer that honestly. I knew a couple weeks before that she had used, but I don't know if at that point in time she was.
Okay, that's fine. So the relationship with her boyfriend was it was an on and off relationship, but it sounds like it might have been a little volatile at some points.
Oh yes, bad.
Okay.
So what do you know about the night that she went missing? Do you have any information about that night? Like,
so I had moved to Nampa, I would say probably 2 or 3 months before everything happened. 2 nights before, I think it was. It could have been a little bit longer than that. She had called me saying that David had taken all her stuff and he wouldn't give it back, and just going off about him. She went so far as to take the plates off of the car that he was using, and I kept telling her, Mom, you got to put the plates back on. You can't do that. If you took your stuff, you need to let somebody know and get it taken care of. And she just kept yelling, saying that he took it and I want it back and all that, And so our conversation didn't go very well that night, and I still remember that. Mm-hmm. And when I tried to get a hold of her a couple of days later, I didn't get an answer. I figured, she's mad at me, give her a week, maybe 2, she'll pop back up. Well, nothing. Her birthday rolled around, still nothing. So at that point, I reached out to my grandma because I couldn't get anything from the police department about it, and they wouldn't let me file anything. So I reached out to my grandma. I said, hey, Mom's not answering. She's not responding to any of my messages. She hasn't posted anything on Facebook, which is highly unusual for her. And I've gone down to the police department and tried to file a report, and they're not letting me do anything. And so that's when she kind of took the whole thing over and basically demanded that the missing persons be put out and all that.
So did the police ever give you any information or any reports? Or your grandma?
No, I never got anything. According to one of my sisters, they didn't find anything in grandma's belongings either. Okay. So I don't know.
Because we went down to see if we could get any. We haven't heard anything, but I filed a report to see if we could get any information. I don't know that they'll give us anything, but I'm trying to see if we can even get anything. If we get anything, do you want to see any of it?
I would like to take a look at it. I remember the day that they found her and confirmed her body. My grandma had called me and was crying and said, it's her body. They found her, you know. And then I spoke with the coroner a couple days later after, you know, they figured out the cause of death and all that. And they told me that she had been shot. That was the cause of death, but she had also been strangled. And
oh wow,
you know, so there was a lot of stuff that wasn't released.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
So do they have? I kind of read that they have a suspect or a working theory of what it was. Do you know what that is?
I don't. I have a feeling that it's on David, because when they picked him up in February of the next year, or right after her body was found, he was trying to stash a bunch of guns downtown Boise. And he, being a felon, is not to have those. So I know that they were processing all that and getting evidence, but I didn't hear anything more back on it. So I don't know.
And they haven't closed the case, right? It is still, because Mia kind of was under the impression that.
Yeah, when I was messaging her the other day, she said that she had thought the case had actually been closed because she hadn't heard anything about it. So,
not that I'm aware of. They haven't, you know, as far as I know, they haven't sentenced anybody for it or anything like that.
I mean, I would assume it would be public knowledge if they had. So.
Yeah, everything we've seen is saying that it's a cold case. So.
Yeah.
I want to go back. I had a quick question. So you'd mentioned that in your mind that David would be someone that you would put as a suspect. Actually, so I actually have two questions. I'll ask you really quick. Besides the fact, did they say why they picked him up? And besides the fact that he was trying to stash guns, is there any other reason that would, in your mind, put him as a suspect?
For me, just the history of their relationship, the threats that he had made to kill her in the past, the fact that with him being a wildland firefighter and having access to, I don't even know the word, remote areas, like where she was found, makes him like the perfect suspect to me, honestly, you know, because they've had their fights. He's threatened to kill her multiple times. He's got access to those remote areas with the keys and his knowledge and stuff. So it just makes sense to me.
So what does he do?
He's a wildland firefighter through, I don't even remember the name anymore.
So he had knowledge of that area then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Do you know where they found your mom's body?
Up at Holes Gulch.
So we went up there, but we were trying to figure, like, we went up there. We kind of hiked up around in that area. We weren't sure if it was like, how off the beaten path was it?
I don't know for sure. They wouldn't really tell me. I just know when you go up Holes Gulch, that little landing that's got the little tree on it.
Yeah.
That kind of sticks out looking over. Just that area. So I don't know how far off to the side, if she was in the middle. I don't know anything like that. I just know that it was somebody walking their dog. They wouldn't even give me the name so I could thank the person. Like, I to this day don't know who did. I don't know who found her.
It's just crazy up there because there was, like, we were up there, it was January.
Yeah, we were up there yesterday.
We were up there yesterday and the fog was, and it was busy. Like, for as cold, and so it just surprises me that it took that long before someone found her. I can't imagine it. So
a couple other questions that I was just thinking about. You said that she allowed people to stay with her frequently. Is there any possibility? So we know that David is a possible suspect. Is there any other possibility that, like, it could have been somebody else, maybe somebody she let stay with her that was just turned out to be a bad person, or, you know, anything like that?
I mean, it could be possible, but I don't really suspect it. Most of the people that she had stay with her were people that she knew. or had some sort of connection with at some point. So
Okay.
I don't see that, but I'm not saying it's not a possibility.
Okay. All right. Did David offer any kind of alibi, or have you heard of any kind of alibi that he might have for that night?
No. As a matter of fact, I was working out at the prison March of 2016, I think it was. And a guy that knew my mom kind of stayed with her a few times and everything recognized me and came up and told me that, well, him and David were in a cell together. David didn't know who he was and didn't recognize him, but David had confided in him that he had killed my mom, so he, at that point, the guy had gone to the cops and talked to him, and I don't know whatever became of it. I don't know anything more than that because I left that job shortly after, so I don't know what came of that. One of the crew members from his fire line, 100% sure, but she had reached out to me at one point and stated that David was acting really crazy and kept claiming that he had killed her one minute and the next he was saying, I didn't do it. I don't know what you're talking about, all erratically. So I don't know if he was using at that time and was just way out there, or if he actually did it.
So why do you think the police haven't, if they have people, I mean, I know it's hard because do you have any idea why the police haven't even tried to?
The only thing that I could think of is they don't have enough evidence. That is literally the only thing that I can think of, because I've racked my brain trying to figure it out too.
Yeah, because they have people saying, I mean, all the time they use people, and like you said, the guy in the prison said that he admitted to doing it. They use those people all the time during cases, so as witnesses or, so just okay.
The cellmate that I believe you said it was a cellmate that David supposedly had confessed to. Do you know his name?
I just know his first name is Jerry. I don't know his last name. Nicole might know, but I can't say for sure on that one.
I don't have any other questions. I don't think I
I
just hope if people start talking, something will shake loose, I mean, obviously they need evidence and they may not be able to get that now because the body, from what I heard, was pretty.
Yeah, it was in pretty bad shape. We did a closed casket for her and she was cremated. I actually have her ashes.
Okay.
How many gunshots did she, because it was gunshots, right?
From my understanding, it was one and it went through the side of her face.
Okay. Oh, so we'd heard multiple.
Yeah, somewhere it said multiple, so.
That's not what we're asking.
Maybe he missed the first time. I don't know.
So is there anything else that maybe the police had to let you know about that just hasn't been in media reports? As we try and put this together and try and figure out what happened, if there's any other information that you think might be helpful.
That's all I know about it.
Yeah, because the possibility of strangulation was not in the media reports anywhere. So
yeah.
Help get people talking, because we really do want to see justice for your mom and closure for you guys. I can't even imagine what that must feel like. We have friends that have family that's been murdered as well, and I know how hard it is for them. So, but I can't imagine how difficult that is for you, and we're very deeply sorry for your loss, and we're really hoping, like I said, that this will maybe at least get people talking. Well, that was an interesting interview that we had with Tila. I felt like it gave us a really good perspective as far as some, from Tila's perspective about her mom, and just kind of a little bit of insight on their relationship and what kind of person Ronnie was. What are your thoughts?
I think that it's important to remember that was her mom and she loved her. She talks a lot about how social she was and how she loved her grandbabies, and so I think that that's important to remember, the human
Yeah, I really liked the story where she was talking about her favorite memory being that time when she was her mom was able to hold the grandbaby, and that was really sweet. That was a really nice story. I really like that. So I don't know. There's definitely some things that I'm wondering about as far as what we're learning about the case so far. What we had read in the papers was that Ronnie was a concert promoter.
Okay.
I'm not really entirely sure now what to think as far as what we've learned from Tila, because it sounds like maybe she worked at what was it, the knitting factory?
Knitting factory. It sounded like a security, possibly.
Yeah, possibly some kind of a security guard, but also the concert promotions.
Right.
So
I know when I looked through some things, it looked like she put on her Facebook when local bands were around. So I think she tried to get the information out, maybe.
Yeah, maybe like an online promotion thing. So it'd be interesting to know and get to know more information about what exactly it was she was doing.
Right.
So, what did you think about the where she was talking about how different people would live with her and stuff like that?
You know, it makes me wonder who they were. What were they like? Were they people that, I don't know. When you have someone living with you, it can be hard. So
yeah,
makes you wonder
just who it is. Yeah, what kind of people would she bring in?
Right.
It sounds like she was a very generous person. That was one thing that I definitely felt was very clear with her. She was very generous and would let people sound like anybody live with her. Really, that was down on their luck.
Yeah.
And so was that possibly? I know that there's definitely different rumors about a specific person as a suspect, but when we have to look at this as far as we don't know that, is it possible it was somebody that had spent some time living with her?
Yeah.
What did you think about something that caught my attention was when she was saying that story when she was talking about having her baby. The daughter's name was Lily, I believe. And she said that something about she felt like, and maybe this is just me, so this is me asking. I'm a guy. If you're not understanding this, she said she was pregnant with her, and she said I felt like something was going to happen, and she made it sound like there was like an urgency. She wanted to make sure that her mom had the opportunity to hold the baby, and I'm just wondering did she feel like something was going to happen?
Being a mom and having had kids, I think, and her being the first time mom, I don't know that I got that from it. I think she was more the feeling that she was going to have that baby.
Oh.
That it was sooner rather than later when the baby was going to come.
Okay. All right. And it sounded like they were having some difficulty getting along at the end.
Yeah, it sounds like there was a fight. And that she said she hadn't talked to her mom for a few days. I can't imagine being in a fight and then not ever getting to make amends to your mom. So
yeah,
that's got to be hard too.
Yeah, I wonder how that would be tough.
It would be tough. I wonder. I don't know.
I think man, I don't know. That'd be a difficult situation. But she said, and so did I? Maybe I want to make sure I caught this right. It sounded like there was a time frame. They had a big fight, and then they hadn't talked with each other for a while, and then there was another fight. If I understood correctly, did you catch that too? That there was another fight like 2 days before Ronnie disappeared.
Something like that, and no, I think that it was the fight, and then she couldn't get a hold of her, so she was giving it a week or two.
Okay. Because
her mom would resurface and start talking to her again, but then her birthday passed and nothing happened.
Yeah. And that fight was just a few days before, and it was about some stolen license plates.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like with that particular person that Ronnie had a kind of a volatile relationship with, and they, I'm not really sure why you would steal a person's license plates.
I don't know either.
That's weird.
It is.
That to me is like
It would be interesting why you would want to do that.
I would love to ask why, of all the things you can do to a person, why would you steal their license plates? That to me is a weird thing to steal. But I don't know. I mean, people are definitely they fight in different ways, right?
They do. And it sounds like they were on again, off again for quite a while. So
yeah.
they had quite the relationship from what it sounds like.
I would definitely, as we talk to more people in this, I'd definitely like to know a little bit more information about that kind of relationship. I want to know more about who would be staying with her at different times. I want to know more about her living situation at the moment she disappeared, and I want to know more about their relationship there. As kind of we go through this, and I want to know, just like, I guess just in general, just kind of what was happening at that time and moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. So what did you think about the person that she is suspicious of?
That's a hard one, because I think that when you're in from what it sounds like, kind of a volatile relationship, things can be assumed, and I don't want to assume anything, because we don't know who was staying with her, we don't know the whole situation, and we don't know everybody she was hanging around.
Yeah. Now, granted, I mean, if he's definitely being abusive, like she had said, and if he's abuse is, there's definitely been cases even here in Nampa not that long ago where somebody was abusive to the point where they ended up murdering someone, and somebody I can't, the name escapes me, and it just kind of came to my mind right now, was the lady that lived here in Nampa, and she had broken up with the boyfriend, I believe it was, and they were not even staying in the same house together, and he ended up back at the house with a machete or something, and broke in and killed the lady, and severely injured the mom, and I believe he attacked somebody else, but I don't remember for sure. But it was a mess, and that was not that long ago. That was just a few years ago. So with abuse, and especially with substance abuse in the picture as well, I think she said he was on meth. Is that correct?
That's what I remember.
And so being on meth, that can definitely,
it fuels things.
Yeah, it can definitely fuel the abuse. So if there's a good motive, it's just not that. But that's the question: what would be the motive? If they've been together for 18 years, what would make that person snap all of a sudden? And so I think that would be a good question to try and figure out.
And still explore other options, because we don't know these people. We don't know the case.
That's exactly right.
And so
it could be. Look, if you're in the world of substance abuse, it could be somebody that maybe feels that you've wronged them in that particular area, or if somebody she's letting people stay with her who are down on their luck. Maybe somebody took things too far. There's all sorts of interesting possibilities, and I think one of the big things is going to be figuring out what is the motive, and who all was involved in their life. So yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to get more people talking. It sounds like this is a case of people need to just start talking, and hopefully something comes out.
Yeah. So hopefully as we go through, we can get some more people talking. We need people to talk. We want to listen to people. We want to hear your story. Our goal, like I said, is we want to get justice for Ronnie, get justice for her family, and let's get this cold case a closed case. If we can, we want to see that happen. So anybody who's watching, if you know any information, if you have any ideas, if you have anything you'd like to share with us, please feel free to message us. You can email us at intodarknessnw@gmail.com. That's N for North, W for West. So intodarknessnw@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Facebook. That's Into Darkness NW on Facebook as well. So that's it for tonight. Let's look forward to the next interview. We'll be interviewing another one of Ronnie's daughters. That's Maya, and we'll be seeing what Maya has to say. Maya has some interesting information. She said that she thinks that she may have been one of the last people to talk to Ronnie on the phone. So we'll see what Maya has to say and go from there. It'll be interesting. So
yes, it will.
All right. Thanks, guys.